All right, so this is kind of like a mock piece of a topper base, and I'm using a large grid because I just wanted to use this as for a sample to teach you how to apply a weft or two and a closure onto your topper to create a fringe cover to create some kind of volume and for someone who has thinning hairline in the top of their head. So this is actually a design we're going to create that you normally see within African American short hairstyles, pixie cut styles with long bangs. It's also in Caucasian markets as well. They wear, you know, hairstyles where they do the pixie cuts as well. So I'm going to show you how you can attach a bundle or two if you want to put more fullness and one of these closures. Now, you can also double this as a 4x4 closure. I have videos on how you can apply a 4x4 closure by cutting it and leaving it open and put it in the top so it can close it out. This is one that's already made that I got from a beauty supply store, and it's actually, like, if you can see, it's supposed to mimic skin in there. So it's a fabric and it's been heat set into it. So I'm not exactly sure if you guys can see it. So when I try to pull some hair away, you can kind of see, like, you can see that is supposed to mimic skin. So see, that's supposed to mimic skin. So it feels like a little plasticky piece. And as you can see, the hair is actually glued in on the inside. It's like pressed. There's a machine that they use where they press this in. So if you think that anyone that mass produce wigs, especially Asian, I'm just going to throw it out there because I'm honest about it, they don't know how to ventilate. They only know how to press into there's a machine that they press the hair into and it makes it look like this. So just to make sure you guys know that. So we're going to apply this to the top first. We're not going to sew it on yet. We're just going to mark where it's going to go. So this is the front, this is the back. So it's kind of hold back here. So you want to find your center. And you're going to pin it right there. And if you need something to get the hair out of the way so that you can make your markings, please do so. If you find that it lifts the entire thing up where you have to work too hard, just find some spots to pin the edges down. See how when I try to lift it up to move the hair out of the way, it lifts up too. So you're just finding some places to pin it down, and then we just want to kind of get this hair out of the way. And if anything is not laying down, just make sure it's flat down. There. So that's my closure piece that's flat down. I'm going to take a marking tool. Preferably you want to use a chalk marker or a tailor's chalk or something, because it cleans off easy. The reason why I am using a permanent marker is it's easier for you guys to see when I'm instructing and teaching. So I'm making my marking around the circle or around the closure so I know where it's actually supposed to be set. And then I can unpin it. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's my marking. I know I'm drawing on my mannequin head, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. And then your next thing is to create this circle pattern around. So we already know you're going to go around the actual inside edge of the bias tape. So when I mean inside edge of the bias tape, you're going to start in this area, not actually on the tape, because you want to be able to apply your wig clips on. But we're going to try and draw this in a circle. So we're just going to start from the center, from wherever point we're at. And then we're going to just do separate circles that eventually I'm going to show you how you can just lead right into the next one. So you're not doing this all the way around. You're just doing separate circles all the way down. So you're connecting your circles all the way down until you run out of room. And that's where you're going to place your wefts. And once you get to a certain point, you're going to feed them into each other. So might be hard to see, but you're going to make your circle for your closure, whatever your closure, that's your opening, and then you're just going to make separate circles down until you get to your edge. And then when you start to sew, you're actually going to start sewing right at the edge. Alright, so now you can see when I lay it down, you can actually see, you know, the circles. You can make them a lot closer if you need to, but it's just a nice starting base. And this marking right here symbols the front. I also did that with the back, with the underside too, so that I would remember. And the best place to start is in the back and at one of the dart pieces. So we want to start at one of the back darts, and we are going to make sure this is out of the way. And remember, we're going to start our first track just above the bias tape, not on the bias tape. So I'm going to place it just above, so you'll see when I do attach it, it'll still be a part of that exposed. So we can put the wig clips on. I'm going to feed this through the machine, and then I'm going to begin sewing. Alright, so once you get to a certain point, just about 2-inch distance before the starting point, you're going to sew towards it, leave like about an inch opening, and then you're just going to go right up into the next line, provided that you could see it. And follow the line that you've drawn. So you're going to get to a point where you know you have to keep going in this circle. So it's better to just go into the next line when you get to a certain point. Trust me, you will know when to do that. But you're trying to keep this circle motion going until you close out and leave it open for your closure, your top closure piece. All right, so now we're getting to a point where the closure piece is getting close to matching up. So I'm going to keep going, and then I'm going to show you how I finish it off. Cool. So at a particular point, if you can see here, I'm just going to lead it off into an edge. So right on into it and back stitch a few times. And when I pull it from under the machine, it can be cut off from right there. And I can pull this right on out. So now my closure should be able to fit right into that. And then I could stitch another on top or not. It's totally up to you. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this into the sewing machine. So I'm going to slide it right on through. And from that point, that's where you're going to start at. So I'm going to put this right on into the sewing machine. And I'm going to put my needle through. You see there's a raw edge. That's what we're sewing down. So I'm going to put it down, and then I'm going to stitch, reverse, and stitch it down. Now, can you do this with a lace closure? Yes, you can. You just have to make sure you're sewing on the excess and not on the hair where it'll cause a bump and it won't lay. See, you want to make sure that it's laying, your needle is on that and not on the hair, on top of the hair. So just take your time in this. Alright, so make sure you can get any excess threads out of the way. And this should lay nice and flat and cover right over. Now some people might feel they need to put a track on top of that. If you want to, you can. I actually do have enough hair to demonstrate that. So I'm going to bundle this closure, and then I'm going to sew a track right on top. I'm going to sew a track right on top of it. So I'm going to push it right through the sewing machine, and then I'm going to take my track and I'm going to sew right on top of it to cover. So needle down. Oh, missed it. And make sure it's down through all layers that you intend to sew. And there you are. You can see the bottom. And you're able to like look for any excess threads or anything like that. You're also allowed to add fabric under here to make it look a little bit more natural. It's totally up to you, but that last bit allows you to lay the closure down without seeing that skin part. And there you are. Trying to make sure I didn't sew over the hair, because when you do that you have bumps that happen, or it doesn't lay completely flat. So this is what I mean when you lay over it, and then when you try to lay it down it doesn't lay completely flat, so you got to work a little bit harder to flatten it out. But it's as simple as just water and setting it to get it to lay. But this is a topper piece. Goes right on top of the person's head. So we're going to style it and go from there.